of triumphalism, ukuthi kulabo besuke bephumelele ba-andamane baqonela abanye. We must move away from triumphalism, but we must also move away from a never-ending saw. Yokuthi we did not, our views, our perspective did not emerge. We must be united as the African National Congress. And that is what we need. So, comrades, on behalf of the provincial leadership, we wish you a good conference. We wish you to have healthy deliberations. But above all, we wish you to turn a new leaf. That with your leadership that is going to come out here, you are going to say, we will be much more stronger than before, because we have learned from those before us, but we have also learned from our own mistakes, and we are now better cadres to make the ANC here, to be seen as an ANC that lives and an ANC leads. Amanda! Viva ANC! Viva! Viva! Viva!
Mandla! Viva African National Congress, viva! Can we do so in a manner that it deserves? Thank you. Comrade Mike, dear Mike, for the moving address and the emphasis of unity, which is the founding principle song, such is Lumkhabulumna.
Niyazi ukuthi as ANC sisebenzisana kangakanani nama structures kahulumeni, but also as a legislature ubaba uSithole uretayile. Bam attend. Then akakalulami uMartin. I think it's when khona ukuthi kuthiwa sidlulise lo myalezo uthi sekwenzeke inkinga lapha ku district yenu yase eMalahleni. As elections on their own are problematic, and its process of selection of elected candidates being
get from you the unfortunate incident that took place overnight here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Firstly, your reaction.
It is indeed a very sad thing that has happened here in KwaZulu-Natal. This being the third person who died from amongst the ANC members, but obviously two others who are other political parties members. It's a very, very sad thing. We really are condemning this with all words that we have. It shouldn't happen. There's no need for people to die like this. Be that as it may, we are saying, as we're sending condolences to their families, as the ANC has already done from headquarters, we are really saying that the police must do their work as urgent as possible to find these criminals. And at this point in time, we do think that it's necessary not to cast aspersion on anyone, but to allow the police to do their work as fast as they can because these criminals have got to be found. It is obvious that there is a motive behind this, and that motive must be defeated. It cannot be that people are being slaughtered as they are, and there's no motive behind this. We have had this happening in KwaZulu-Natal previously. People have been arrested, and it has to happen again now. So we are also simultaneously calling upon all our members, particularly of the greater movement, to be calm, to continue to plan for the conferences, as we also, most importantly, supporting the families of those who lost their loved ones. They are our loved ones too. And as the preparations are going on, let's also consider that we are to hold these conferences to rebuild the structures of African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal, in ensuring that this thing never has to happen. In their name, let's build unity in this province and unity in the entire country. So we are asking that let's never be destabilized. Let's continue to seek those who are killers, who are criminals, but let's continue to focus also on the work of building peace once and for all in this province.
Mayor, for those who've been saying that they were lots of issues here and there that you were trying to deal with, now in light of this, and of course that these killings are happening in those very regions, do you still feel now that it's conducive for those conferences to go ahead?
Look, I think it's important to actually say, as the African National Congress, we are aware of where they are in the branches, particular specific branches. There are challenges. The NWC came here. We were very clearly able to see the few branches which has problems. And we should actually be able to isolate those areas where there are challenges from this issue of really that may seem to be wanting to confuse the rest of us, so that we attend to building the structures and uniting the people in those particular branches, because there are challenges that ranges from dual branches, where some are saying there's gatekeeping. We must open up, we do believe, and that's an instruction that we got from the NWC, that open up and allow those members to come into the organization. So the next step, actually, this weekend where we are at, both the convener and the coordinator, we're going to be meeting those structures. Yes, there is a death case, it's still fresh. We are all attending to that. But we do believe that the environment that can be made conducive will be made conducive by us, at the same time moving to really support the families of the lost ones, even remembering that they are our families too. They are part of a greater movement's family. So the two processes should be running together, because we are really thinking that if we look at the situation right now and say, let's not continue with everything, then the situation might just go on and on and on. We don't know, but it's important to stabilize the branches. It's important to allow members to come into the organization. It's important to have the branches that are dual once and for all be corrected. And we do think that once you have corrected this situation, you have united the people and continuing to unite them, then there will be calm as you go on. But leaving and saying we hope and we live on hope that things will sort themselves out is not quite something that we think is actually wise to get along with.
Speaking of unity, and it's been stressed it's been a couple of months now since Nazareth, we're still not seeing, particularly in this province, the two sides being able to come together.
We've actually asked the two sets of teams, one is called the 10-a-side and one is called the 3-a-side, to work harder in finding lasting solutions to the political situation here, because you see, as we are building the structures and preaching unity, even as we are at this conference right now, the message is unity. Work without you being members of members, but unite. And we think that people are beginning to hear now because there's a bit of a mixture, even in election of leadership, bringing people together, integrating and so forth. Even at the PIC level, we've seen that happening. The two coordinator and convener, the two comrades have been working very well together and leading the pack. So some direction or some movements toward the right direction is actually happening right now. What is important is to have discussions at this 10 side and the 3 side. We have insisted that there must be a report that we get about how things are going in those discussions, because they said to us, we would like to speak on our own and be ourselves and resolve some of the challenges politically. So that work is happening. Bad habits sometimes die hard. You will still find those who are meeting separately and so forth, but we continue to discourage that. We do believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we will definitely see this light at the end of the tunnel and reach this unity, which we must also continue to say that it's not to be achieved overnight, but we must work for it. What's good here is that there is a determination to actually win and work on it.
Now, before I let you go, my last one, the police, yes, is this something that will be maybe further discussed by yourselves as national leaders? Well,
I'm aware that the preliminary report was given from Comrade Jeff Hadebe, who was leading the team, particularly in the Pietermaritzburg area after the killings of the ladies there. He did give a report. I'm also aware that they are continuing to do that work, and certainly I think with this new emerging killings that are happening, they will then, because the task team has not been disbanded in my view, will continue to just look at that, the causes and the underlying causes, because we've got to deal with problems of this nature, understanding what the underlying causes are. The critical thing also that we must say, which needs to be looked at, is that in KwaZulu-Natal, it's actually the killings that are happening across parties. And that says a lot. There's more that needs to be found out. And that's why this task team has got to do a lot. And that's why I believe that, and we believe, the NEC has not disbanded it, even after it has given its report, the first report.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.